she hasn't been growing for the last 2 weeks, and even though they can move around like crazy, like I still thought like maybe she hasn't been getting the right nutrients or like.
You're the queen of the world, you should know. Others see your beauty and it shows. Can't believe the universe is so kind. Can't believe you're all mine.
Welcome back, Vibers! For today's video, we're just gonna take you along our day. We had different plans, they fell through, so now
hopefully we'll get the plans back and you'll see that next weekend, but
yeah, next weekend. So instead I think we're just gonna do a little bit of shopping, go grab food. We're hungry, and
we have a little story time for you.
Yes, we got our first like
scared,
very scary.
Yeah, I mean I was stressed out.
Yeah, I was.
You got me stressed out.
I know, I didn't want to stress you out too much, but I was really worried too. So at my 35-week checkup, which was like 2 days ago, yeah, just a routine checkup, I went into the doctor's office, and then he had like a PA, somebody who was like training, follow him in, and he was like, oh, he's training, whatever. And so they did all the routine stuff, check my blood pressure, all that stuff, everything's fine, everything's good, and then the doctor tells him, oh, okay, measure her bump. So I'm sure a lot of you guys are familiar with that. He just takes a measuring tape and like measures the size of my bump. So he measured it, and I could tell it was taking him a little while, and I was like, you're new, you're taking a little while. And then he tells the doctor, I think it was like 32 centimeters. I'm not sure if that's the exact number, but he tells him, he goes, 32 centimeters. And then I could tell that they're both kind of looking at each other like, that doesn't sound right. And he goes, let me measure it again. And I'm thinking, yeah, you don't know how to measure. It's your first time or whatever, you're new. And so he measures it again, and he tells him, he's like, yeah, he goes, it's 32 centimeters. He's like, would you like to double check, doc? And I'm like, okay, like I'm starting to get worried. I'm like, this doesn't sound too good. So then the doctor comes over, and I'm like, okay, you know what you're doing. You're the one who measures me every single time. He measures me, and he says, yeah, he goes, it's 32. And then he looks at me, and he's like, he goes, I'm a little concerned. He goes, that's usually about the average size of like a 32 to 33 week bump. And I'm supposed to be 35 weeks. And then, so I'm like, okay, like, so what does that mean? And he goes, let me double check on the computer and see what he measured me 2 weeks prior when I was there at my 33-week checkup. And so he checks, and he's like, yeah, he goes, it doesn't look like you've grown. And I'm like, okay, I'm starting to get more worried again.
Yeah.
And then he goes, I'm going to refer you to get an ultrasound. And I think they could do ultrasounds there, but the way it works is he refers me to like an actual ultrasound place where they take every last measurement, not just like look over the baby. So I'm like, okay. So I'm like, so what does it mean? Like, what does this mean? He goes, it could be one of three things or a handful of things. He's like, basically it could mean that the baby's not growing. And if that's the case, she would need to be delivered in the next 2 weeks. And I'm like, oh my God, like she can be coming in 2 weeks. Like that's insane. And that's also scary to even think that she might not be growing and that there could be something wrong with her.
Right.
Yeah. And so he said that, or he said, or it could be that the placenta's not growing. And if that's the case, like we would need to monitor you more closely and have ultrasounds regularly. Or it could also mean that she dropped, and because of that, your bump just isn't measuring bigger. It just means she dropped. And so I'm like, oh, okay.
So she sends me all this in a text message. I proceed to freak out. I'm losing my mind.
Yeah, because Weston wasn't there with me.
I'm at work.
He was at work.
So I'm losing my mind. I'm telling her, I'm coming. I'm leaving work now. I'm coming.
Yeah, I told him not
She's like, you can't even be in anything. You're not allowed in anything. I'm like, I'm sitting in the car. I'm doing whatever. I can't work anymore. Like I'm thinking about is my baby girl might be coming early, or something's wrong, or how's Arlene doing? Does she need my support? Like everything's running through my mind.
Yeah, well, so I got back to the car, and I needed to make an appointment at the ultrasound place. That's what I was more worried about. I was more worried that I wasn't going to be able to be seen, and like I wasn't going to be able to find out what's wrong with the baby.
But she was like, I'm not taking no for an answer because we cannot go to bed.
Yeah, there's no way.
We'll just go home and, okay, sounds good.
Yeah, there's no way. I'm like, I am going to show up at the ultrasound place and wait there if there's no appointments available. And because I've made appointments at that place, and usually like it's super booked up and super packed, so I knew it might be difficult. So I told Weston, I was like, no, don't come. Like, let me call the ultrasound place. So I called the place. Luckily, she was like, I told her, like I explained to her why I got the referral and how the baby might be measuring 2 weeks behind. And so she understood, and she right away was like, oh, okay, can you come in the next hour? And so I told her, like, yeah, I can come in anytime. So she made my appointment for like next hour, and I was like, oh my God, like, thank you so much for like understanding. And that's literally what calmed me down. I was like, I need them to see the baby and tell me if there's anything wrong, basically. So then I had an hour to kill. I ended up going to buy my baby. I ended up buying preemie outfits there. If you guys follow me on Instagram, that's why I said I was having
retail therapy. Yeah.
Because I was just trying to stay calm. And the other huge thing though, even though we were worried, I felt her kicking so much, and the doctor did check for a heartbeat and everything, and that was all fine.
Right. So when I was talking to her, she was saying the baby's still moving and jumping around and doing stuff. So I was like, all right, well, if she is going to be born early, I'm trying to think positive. If she is going to be born early, because I'm thinking that's the worst case scenario. She's strong right now. She's moving. She's grooving. She's having a good time. She's going to be okay. Like, coming out premature, we'll just have to.
Well, worst case scenario for me was that she hasn't been growing for the last 2 weeks, and even though they can move around like crazy, like I still thought like maybe she hasn't been getting the right nutrients, or like there could be something wrong with her.
I'm just worried about babies coming early. I'm like that they shouldn't come. They should come when they're all ready to go. You know, I get nervous. Like, don't expose her to the outside elements too early.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know. As a preemie, there's just so many more like risks and stuff.
Yeah. So, anyways. So she went and did that. She did the ultrasound. She got it checked out.
Yeah, so she did the ultrasound. She was checking everything. She was kind of quiet. I was like, is everything okay? Like, talk to me. And I asked her, I was like, so are the measurements like okay? And she's like, well, I need to measure everything first before like I could tell you. She's like, but I mean, right now it looks fine. So I'm like, oh, thank God. And then she finishes every last measurement. She like measures her arms. She has long arms, by the way. They haven't said that she has long legs, but she has long arms for some reason. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I think she's going to be tall.
Yeah. And so she finishes everything. Yeah. And she tells me, she's like, yeah, she goes, she looks like she's measuring like exactly where she should be. And then she calls in the doctor, and then that doctor came in. He wasn't the nicest person. He literally talked to me for like 30 seconds. He goes, so what was the problem? And I was like, oh, well, my doctor referred me because he thought, like, according to just my bump measurement, it's like 2 weeks behind. Yeah. And he's like, oh. He's like, no. He goes, you're right down the middle. You're right where you need to be. Boom. And he goes, so that's it. And I'm like, oh, okay. So
thanks a lot, doc.
That was pretty much it.
Why can't, hey, all doctors, slow your roll. Be a little nicer. Maybe we're a little stressed. Just be a little nicer.
I mean, he wasn't mean. It just wasn't like.
No, I know. He wasn't as his bedside manner needs a little
where I was like
comforting.
Yeah.
Like, good news.
Yes.
That's how
literally that's it. Like, good news, like, no.
Good news, everything looks good. All right. I'm glad we checked it out and we gave you peace of mind.
Yes. No, he made it sound like why'd you come in? Like that was a waste of time or something. And I'm like, no, I would prefer for my doctor to have referred me just to like make sure everything's fine.
So shout out to the nice men and women working in the medical field who, I get it, they might lose some patience and stuff, so maybe he just was like having a rough day or whatever, but
yeah, he seemed like stressed out.
The nicer you are, the better it makes us feel like calm.
I mean, I don't even, whatever, even, he's done, whatever. The lady at the front, the ultrasound tech, like they were all so super nice and sweet. And
I love nice nurses.
Yeah, and they're the ones that made the day
they like calm me down.
Yeah, they were the ones that made the day so much better. Literally just by saying, okay, yeah, like, let's get the baby girl in and let's get her checked out. I was like, oh my God, thank you. Like, that's all I want. I just want her to be seen and make sure that everything's okay.
Yeah.
So everything was okay, obviously. It was a happy ending. Everything's fine. I guess, I don't know why my bump isn't that much bigger.
I don't know. But it does run in your family that all your sisters and stuff had smaller bumps too.
No. I'm saying, why hasn't it grown,
why hasn't it grown?
I guess maybe the doctor's right. She dropped even more. That was a long story. Luckily, everything's okay.
Long story long, everything is A-okay. She's right down the middle, 50 percentile. She's an average, run-of-the-mill mini-me. So we're all good.
Yeah, so
and now we're going to go celebrate by shopping and eating.
Yes. No joke. I want clam chowder.
Yeah.
Because clam chowder does not give me acid. And we do get to go celebrate. What should we do? Should we, like, buy her more stuff?
Oh yeah, of course.
Let's celebrate her because she is growing.
Let's just keep buying her everything.
Let's do it. Okay, you want to show my bump?
Yeah.
Oh, you see the bump?
Yeah.
35-week bump. that stressed us out.
Yeah.
And you know another reason I freaking got worried too? Because you know how many messages I've gotten about, oh my gosh, her bump isn't big enough. Or
I know.
And that. And so then
People
I was
stress
like,
out like, oh.
And I never got stressed about it. And this is the one time where I'm like, oh my gosh, were people right this whole time? Like,
I know. I should have noticed that my bump was smaller.
Well, I know, but every time the doctor would always tell me everything looks good. Yeah, you're measuring right on time, all that stuff. So then I was like, what the heck? How did I not notice? Can you see it?
Yeah.
Does she look big?
I think she looks big, but I don't have anyone to compare it to, you know?
She does look big. Well, she's a growing little baby Weston.
Yeah.
A growing little
Mini
baby
me.
Weston.
Mini me for sure.
And I got all my clam chowder on a freaking 100-degree day, so now I'm gonna be extra hot. What'd you get?
Grilled cheese with ham.
Grilled cheese with, that's it? Just grilled cheese with ham?
Grilled cheese with ham?
That looks pretty good. Those
Yeah.
chips are calling my name too.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, they look good.
That's weird.
Is
They're
it?
calling mining.
No, they're calling mine. This looks so good.
Now, shopping includes baby
Look at-
section as well.
Look.
She found a winner so far.
It's
Get
cute.
this bad
and
boy.
I think it's half off, I think. I hope.
Looks like it's $5. We'd be the suckers if we didn't buy it. That's
Oh, here's all the little
my slogan.
cans.
And I just go into spy mode where I just sit here and watch, take down my notes on how mothers act in the wild.
What?
She's out of breath.
And it's hot.
It's hot outside.
It's hot.
She's,
It's
she
hotter
has to
than
wobble
that.
around. We have to go upstairs. All right, we got back from shopping. This little one.
I'm eating my favorite fruit.
And she's got a little shelf now.
I've been waiting until I have a shelf where I can just sit it down. It doesn't really
It's a pre-shelf. Oh, there you go.
stays.
You do. You got a shelf now. You did it, babe. Congratulations.
Is it? It's staying?
Yeah.
Can you tell it's a good shelf?
Yeah.
For real?
You look funny with their bib and everything.
I know, cause
You're eating a watermelon and smuggling a watermelon in there.
and she's wiggling around like crazy, punching me.
Because you're eating that sweet, sweet, good watermelon.
Punches me all day and all night, whether it's anything sweet, whether for no reason. Actually, should we tell them what I did earlier?
Yeah, I'm mad at you.
I gave her a pow pow for no reason.
On her
Just
stomach. She did.
I just
Show her
thought
what you did.
I just thinking of her and I just thought she was cute. I just went pow pow, and she started beating me up.
Yeah, she got mad at her for
She
that.
started stretching me like crazy, like I'll show you,
Don't
and
you,
I was in pain.
I'll show you a pow pow.
Yeah, and then I did it again right now, and now I'm scared that she's gonna start going crazy. Cause you just like want to like spank her little booty. It's so cute. Pow pow, pow pow. And I'm scared again.
Don't wake her up.
I know, but she goes crazy.
Yeah.
I think I woke her up again.
You know she doesn't like when you do that.
I did.
See, she gets rambunctious. The thing is, she grew up in fruit, and I didn't. I was a picky eater.
There's no such thing as being picky with fruit. No such thing.
Look at her take that.
What?
You working on that watermelon? It's so funny.
Alright, vibers, that's gonna be everything for today.
Thanks
I'm
for
gonna
coming
go.
along and
I'm
enjoying
gonna
our
go take a
little.
bath, and if you guys follow me on Instagram, sometimes I like to.
Send out the questions.
No, I like to do a little Q&A because I get bored in there.
Yeah.
Because Weston's watching UFC.
I'm supposed to be
and that's
entertaining, but the UFC
boring.
fight is on. Last
And-
time it was Last of Us. It's just like there's a lot. I got hobbies.
But your job is to entertain me.
But I do entertain you.
Actually, your job is to entertain your pregnant wife, not just me. Your pregnant wife. You little cutie pie.
I
Little
entertain you 90% of the day. When do I get a break?
Not 90%. I am not going to give you 90.
What are you gonna give me?
Like 70.
I'll take it 70% of the day because the other half I'm sleeping. Can't entertain that.
Yeah, I know.
And then you're getting ready.
No, and when you're sleeping, as soon as I wake him up in the middle of the night and I say, I'm bored.
Yeah, she's like a little child, really.
Because
I'm gonna have another one right here.
I wake up so much throughout the night too, so I get bored.
And I'm sleeping.
So yeah, make sure you guys are following me on Instagram because I've been posting a ton there. Plus, You guys don't want to miss on like the labor and stuff because that's where we'll post first.
Yeah, and then you have to wait a little bit while we edit and do all that thing.
But there'll definitely be like some sneak peeks and stuff, I'm sure, on Instagram.
For
so
sure.
Make sure you're following me there.
Follow her on Instagram.
Yeah.
That's where you're going to get all the info.
Make sure your post notifications are on. Subscribe. And the phrase that pays for today's video is...
Glad baby girl is okay.
Because that was...
Scary.
So Vibers, just popping in to pay out the phrase that pays. I'm laying in bed, getting ready for bed, and we almost forgot. So we're going to pay it out. So shout out to you, Jocelyn Perez. You were the first person to hit the phrase that pays in our last video. And the random shout out goes to, tell me, babe.
Leslie Balderas.
Leslie Balderas?
Leslie
Balderas.
Balderas. Yeah.
Shout out to you.
That was scary, but we're glad she's okay. So leave the phrase that pays down below. Subscribe, turn on your post notifications, and we'll see you in the next one, Vibers.
Bye, Vibers. Woo, woo, woo. Into the belly.